Most of the people who are watching this probably know me best for my advocacy of psychedelics. But in reality, the psychedelics themselves are not of the greatest importance. It is the mindset that psychedelics bestow upon you that is important. Recently, brain scans performed by David Newt became widely publicized. They showed a normal brain versus a brain on LSD. The brain scans of the person on LSD had hyperconnectivity and increased activity as well. In it, the brain experienced images through various parts of the brain in addition to the visual cortex. This could be responsible for people's purported hallucinations while under the influence of the drug. It appears the first modern brain scans of people on LSD confirm what Aldous Huxley described in his 1956 essay, Heaven and Hell, as the antipodes of the mind when talking about areas of the brain that could not be accessed under normal consciousness. Huxley also believed that these states could be achieved through other modalities, like fasting and meditation, something that has been echoed by the likes of Terence McKenna, Tim Leary, and Ram Dass. Psychedelic drugs do not produce the experience, they simply act as a chemical key, a method to get there that does not require the patience, practice, or inherent self-awareness of something like meditation. But meditation too can get you to a higher level of consciousness, an illumination, where one is free from ego and has attained what Timothy Leary once described as the clear light. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, without being attached to the result of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. Live without attachment. You must be thinking, but Chris, it's easier said than done. I'm not some kind of guru. But you don't need to be a guru to be in this state. You don't even need LSD. I mean, maybe for the hallucinations, but there is a feeling from psychedelics that isn't a visual hallucination. There is a feeling of tranquility and oneness with everything, an interconnectedness with the world around you, an ability to clearly focus on your surroundings, on your thoughts, and we can call this place Karmic Ecstasy or Karma Yoga. Now, Karma Yoga doesn't involve incense or downward-facing dog. I mean, it can, but that's not what it's about. Karma is to do. We are so attached to the game, attached to the song and dance, to our past likes and dislikes, or to some mean shit someone said to us in 8th grade, or how our parents screwed up in this way or that way, as they inevitably do. We are attached to our persona and the image of ourselves we present to the world through social media, or even just the way we feel when we need to behave a certain way around certain types of people. We're attached to our bills and the weight of our jobs on our shoulders, attached to the way our bosses don't appreciate us, or the way that women cut us in line at the bank earlier. And it doesn't stop at the past. We're attached to the future as well, the threats of the future like climate change or inflation or disaster, or our personal finance or what we will do with our lives and we'll never find somebody like her again. And the weight of all of this is resting on your shoulders at all times. But it doesn't need to be. It simply doesn't need to be. If you are attentive in any given moment, everything is fine almost all of the time. Right now, you're listening to this and you are almost certainly fine. Hopefully you're fine. It is just the fear of the future, or the constant memory of the objectively few moments you were not fine in the past that prevents you from being clear. Now, to eliminate this constant weight on our hearts and on our minds, we just have to be here now. It is really that simple. If you aren't familiar with Be Here Now, which is a book by Ram Dass on this very subject, I highly suggest you look into it. The Psychedelic Experience by Tim Leary is also an excellent tool for understanding how to make this work. But we're always just like, they ran out of coconut milk at Starbucks earlier, but that is not now. Oh, well, my cousin works, your cousin isn't here right now. One day, I want to go to... One day isn't now. By constantly waiting for the perfect moment or regretting or reminiscing about the past moments, you are avoiding the present moment. And nobody's perfect. I mean, this is something that takes a lot of practice. It takes conscientious effort to do this, but don't get mad at yourself when you fail to do it. Just be mindful of it. When you catch yourself complaining about something you have to do later, forget it. Remember that you are to be here now. Or if you're super conservative, which means you're probably not watching this video, but if you are super conservative and you're normally mortified by someone you consider to be beneath you in some way because your father works for Goldman Sachs or the Illuminati or something, You too can forget the preconceived notions, your likes, your dislikes, and be here now and just experience this moment for what it is, just for a little while. And chances are, in this current moment, no one is harming you, no one is threatening you or threatening to harm you. There's no imminent natural disaster, and you know what, maybe you're late for work, but don't worry about your boss scolding you. Live that moment when you get to it, and let it wash over you in that moment. And maybe he fires you and you start to panic. Oh, what am I gonna do? I need that job. Literally stop worrying about it. You are not starving to death in this present moment. You can go out and find another job. You can collect unemployment temporarily. You will ultimately persist because that is what humans do. You're gonna find something perhaps better. You search for another job. But just don't let the hypotheticals eat you up inside. But all of this whole be here now thing, when you start out, this is easier to do alone, and it can get really trippy. This is probably easiest to do when you're alone in the woods or something. But while you are living this moment, totally free and clear of all your past and future moments, try and free yourself. Also of the programming of your upbringing, of the society you are living in, and the rules of the game. Don't smile, look tough, puff your chest out, smile, shake your hips when you walk, maintain the illusion that you are in complete control of your surroundings, behave like a businesswoman, behave like a businessman, behave like a biker. Why play the game when you can just be? You don't have to act like anything. You're simply an expression of the universe in any given moment. That is all. You don't need any of this baggage of identity. I'm a professor, I'm a rocker, I'm a loser, whatever the fuck it is. Just be here now. In fact, I was saving this for the very end, but unless you have something to do on it, try to avoid looking at your laptop or your iPhone all the time. You don't need to be entertained every second of every day to avoid the crushing nature of reality. It's really not that bad. If you catch yourself, just remember, be here now.